All right, y'all, good morning. Happy December, happy Friday the 13th. Is anybody superstitious? Does it freak anybody out? Yes? Are you scared?
In a good way.
You almost didn't come. I'm glad you're here. You made it. Congrats, everyone. Happy last Creative Mornings of 2024, everyone. It's really, really crazy to think that this is our year. Like we wrapped, our first one was in March, so we don't have a full year under our belt, but I'll take it. I know some of you have came to every single event this year, so thank you so much for coming, and I'm really, really excited to jump into the next year. We have a really great speaker lineup planned, and yeah, thank you for all of your support, and I'm stoked that this was a really successful first year. So thank you guys so much. Okay. Oh, it would be helpful if I turn this on. I slept on the floor last night of my baby's room, not because like, whatever, but you know, it's one of those days. All right, 30-second pitches. This is where we're gonna get started. I also almost picked a word that rhymes with pitches to like put it up there, but then my mom said, maybe not. But I wanted to write 30-second pitches. Yep. All right, anyway. Creative Mornings is about shining the light on our communities, and one way to do this is via a 30-second pitch, also called espresso shots, community minutes, your turn. This is where we invite a few people from our audience to come up to the stage and share a pitch with our audience. It could be that they're looking to hire, need collaborators, have an upcoming event they'd like to promote, or who knows, maybe you're even looking for a date. So if you're ever interested in doing a 30-second pitch, I will be doing these all next year. We'll do about 3 spots. We have 3 for today. Send me an email if you do want to do this next year, Sacramento@creativemornings.com, but we'll get started with Diana. Where'd you go? There you are. Come on up, Diana. Also, if you know you're doing a pitch, you can kind of like line up because we're going to go quick. Bridget and Kita, where's everybody? There we go. Okay. Do I make this official? I need to get like a timer, like a buzzer, you know? All right, all you.
Hello, everyone. Good morning. Good morning. So my name is Diana. I am the Operations Associate and Rentals Manager here at Clara. And I just wanted to come up here and introduce myself and tell you a little bit about what we do. So welcome to Clara. We are a nonprofit with a mission to ensure equitable access to creative and cultural expression throughout the Sacramento region. And that means that we believe that artistic participation is an essential part of a fully realized life. And our goal is to make sure that everyone has the chance to participate, whether you're participating in a Creative Mornings meeting, taking an introductory music class, or regularly attending live performances that were rehearsed right here at Clara. We also provide arts programs in local schools that serve over 65,000 students each year. So I invite you to check us out and learn more about our programs and how you can participate at claramidtown.org. Thank you.
Woo! All right, Bridget, you're next. The clicker's up there. You can just.
Oh God, I gotta click.
You gotta click and hope it works. The next arrow, probably. Yeah.
First click. Hello, everyone. I am Bridget Baker. I'm a brand and website designer. I'm also a writer who was not writing. So I thought, how do I get writing? With other people. Enter. This is approved by my mom because she's part of it. Write Shit Mondays. We get together and we write shit. So I've got a co-writing group. It meets every Monday at 10 a.m. You can scan a QR code, take pictures, find out more about it there. So come get writing with me. Thank you.
Yay! Thank you. All you. And you also have to click the button.
Hello, everyone. My name is Ankita, and I'm going to do a quick poll of the audience here. Raise your hand if you are injured or are haunted by a past injury. Okay, we're a pretty broken crowd up here. I'm Ankita, I'm your physical therapy bestie, and I started a company called The Movement Upgrade. The Movement Upgrade is a one-on-one virtual movement coaching program to help people who are injured or dealing with chronic pain. I myself, as a physical therapist and also as a patient, have just noticed so many pitfalls of our traditional healthcare system and how we deal with that. So I do virtual coaching through one-on-one monthly calls that help me understand how you move,
From there, I create a personalized, customized program that gets you from point A to where you are thriving and living your best life. And lastly, you have one-on-one access to me at all times. So think of me as like a PT in your pocket for whenever you need. This is the best way to get in touch with me. Slide in my DMs on Instagram. I check that way too much. That's why it's a habit I want to break this year. And you can also get in touch with me via email. And thank you for your time.
Thank you. And I'll also send a follow-up email with all the contact information for all of these in case you didn't have a chance to scan the QR codes or anything like that. All right, let's get started. Our theme for December is cycle. It was chosen by our Freiburg chapter in Germany and illustrated by Isabel Meister. The world runs on cycles. There's the frantic buzz of the 24-hour news cycle, the boom and bust of economic cycles, the changing seasons. Every plant, animal, and organism exists in a life cycle of birth, growth, reproduction, and death. Water flows through a cycle of evaporation into vapor, to condensation in clouds, to precipitation that falls as rain or snow. The menstrual cycle, the circadian rhythm of our sleep cycle. Just as crops are grown on a rotation cycle to replenish the soil, our own creativity requires a cycle of inspiration or inputs, followed by a burst of productivity or entering a flow state, and finally a period of rest or contemplation. Cycles are circular and keep things moving. Which cycles are you living in tune with, and which ones are you fighting vainly against? It's deep this morning. All right, thank you to our global partner, Adobe. They're on a mission to help people everywhere imagine, create, and bring any digital experience to life. Just like our local partners make our events here in Sacramento possible, global partnerships are the fuel that power us as an organization. They ensure that Creative Mornings can continue to grow and thrive around the world. This partnership is a clear reflection of all of you and the love and heart you bring to this Creative Mornings community. Adobe wanted to be a part of this. My team and I want to thank you all for being here and making the Sacramento chapter what it is. All right, raise your hand if you've ever used an Adobe product. Nice. Okay, now keep your hand up if you've ever used Adobe Express. Oh, all right. Say hello to their quick and easy Create Anything app. With Adobe Express, you can make stunning social posts, images, videos, flyers, and so much more all in one app. If you're a Creative Cloud subscriber, you get Adobe Express Premium included in your membership at no additional cost, giving you premium templates, assets, and even more features. Thank you to our global partner, Adobe, for making a cool, accessible, easy-to-product use for all. Okay, cool. If you didn't know, we also have our shirts are for sale in the back. We're doing a holiday sale. They are $20 a shirt. All of the money will go to support our Creative Mornings events next year. Jordan, our speaker today, she and her company printed our shirts for us, so thank you so much. So if you don't have a shirt or if you need a gift for a friend, family member, yourself, rep us, and the shirts are for sale in the back. And did you know the #1 way that people learn about Creative Mornings Sacramento is through their friends? So next year, we really do invite you to bring a friend, whether they've never heard of Creative Mornings, have been away for a long time but are excited to get back, or are a Creative Mornings regular but just need a push from a friend to join, get them to tag along. We can't wait to see you, your buds, pour out some coffee, and continue to expand our circle of friends. So speaking of circles of friends, I'd love for you to just take 2 minutes, turn to the person next to you, share what's on your name tag. What are you looking to break or start for your cycles for now or next year? Meet a friend, y'all. Hi. Is there a gal here that's more, do you attend the Oakland chapters? No, never mind. All right, forget it. You don't get a shout out. All right, love our volunteer team. Thank you all so much for being a part of this year, this morning. I just want to give Kim and Doug a huge shout out. They have been with me every single event since we started. They are here at 7:29 a.m. setting up all the chairs. Thank you guys so much. I really appreciate you. And if you ever interested in volunteering, big or small, shoot me an email, sacramento@creativemornings.com. And then our very special team, David, our videographer, also every single month this year has just absolutely crushed it. So thank you. We have Fong, our photographer. He's snapping sexy pics of all of you. And Rachel in the back doing all of our social media. So thank you guys. So yeah, if you want to volunteer in any way, shape, or form, shoot me a note. Our local partners, obviously the Clara has hosted us all year, and all of our partners actually are going to continue into the next year. So having these stable foundations for us to do this every single month is unbelievable. So thank you, Diana. Thank you to the Clara. Seasons Coffee, keeping us caffeinated every month. They are located inside of the Clara. If you haven't seen their coffee shop, it's adorable. So please come check it out. And then the co-op gives us our fruit, our flowers every month, and they are just phenomenal. So thank you to our local partners. And then Tammy provided our breakfast donuts this morning. She got injured last night. She pulled out her back. I'm so sorry, Tammy. It's the worst feeling in the world. But she did sponsor our donuts for this morning. If you want to check out her website, I'm realizing it's very small at the bottom, tammyhackbarth.com/reduce-mental-load. Check her out. And if you ever interested in sponsoring breakfast or donating in any way, shape, or form, also just send me an email. All right. Creative Mornings is currently in over 243 cities and 69 countries worldwide. 27,000 morning people attend a Creative Mornings talk every month. Our events are and always will be free. Our next event for the next year, if you want to mark your calendars now, will be January 24th. We try to aim for the third Friday of the month. Sometimes it gets shifted around a little bit, but mark your calendars. That will be our next one. All right, the Creative Mornings Manifesto sets the tone for our events and shines a light on our values here at Creative Mornings. So we're going to all read this together. Here we go. Everyone is creative. A creative life requires bravery and action, honesty, and hard work. We are here to support you, celebrate with you, and encourage you to make the things that you love. We believe in the power of community. We believe in giving a damn. We believe in face-to-face connections, in learning from others, in hugs and high fives. We bring people who are driven by passion and purpose, confident that they will inspire one another and inspire change in neighborhoods and cities around the world. Everyone is welcome. Nice. All right, y'all. Time for me to get off here and Jordan to come up. Jordan Inglebright is the proud owner of Oh Shirt Yeah, a thriving screen printing and embroidery business that has been serving customers for an impressive 17 years. Over nearly 2 decades, Jordan has built the business from the ground up, navigating the challenges and triumphs of entrepreneurship with dedication and passion. In an exciting new chapter, Jordan recently expanded the business to include a coffee shop, Enjoy Coffee, located in the same space as the apparel operation. Since opening its doors just a month ago, the coffee shop has quickly become a vibrant addition to the business, offering a welcome space for customers to connect and unwind. Balancing the demands of running a both well-established apparel business and a budding coffee shop has tested Jordan's business acumen, pushing her to grow in new and rewarding ways. This dual venture reflects not only a commitment to creativity and community, but also a willingness to embrace challenges with enthusiasm. And that intro was written by ChatGPT.
I was like, that was amazing. I was like, dang, I should have put my speech in ChatGPT.
All right, everyone, welcome, Jordan.
Yeah, I was like, wow. I was like, you just made me sound good. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, I need to put this whole thing into ChatGPT. Okay. Hi. Oh, I'm gonna give my husband the clicker and he is on clicker duty. Okay. Okay. Slide 2, babe. All right, there we go. Okay, I truly appreciate your time and the effort that you gave me in order to be here today. I understand showing up's hard, transportation issues, poor sleep, clothes crisis, family obligations. There's so many factors that play into getting out of the house. If you woke up today well rested and gave yourself plenty of time to get here without any stress at all, and you're having a good hair day, the exit's located right here. You do not need any advice from me today. So, in situations like this, the first thing I think when I see somebody on stage is, why do you deserve to be here? And what can you tell me that's going to apply to my life? I hope I leave you today with, I get why she's here, and all right, why not me? Opposite of noteworthy accomplishments, I'm here because I've failed, and failed, and failed again. I'm going to start with telling you a few of my personality traits and what growing up was like to set the framework of who I am. I am no more amazing than anyone in this room, but what got me here is jumping and consistency. I've always welcomed failure and pivoted it towards success and fearlessly jumped without hesitation time and time again. As a person, I'm very kind, I'm generous, I'm sensitive, and I'm warm. As a businesswoman, I've got grit, tenacity, persistence that most people would describe as crazy. And with this, you can simultaneously be soft and ruthless. My life started off with a step in the entrepreneurship pace of living. My parents, Valerie and Jim, owned and operated Roadrunner Towing. My normal was coming to work with my parents and accomplishing small tasks like cleaning the counters or carefully helping my dad fill out the deposit slips. This training instilled within me that if you want something, you got to work for it. My mother's famous teaching to me when I would ask for something is no for now, but not for always. And then would follow it up with, what are you going to do to earn it? I'm forever grateful for this lesson. It instilled in me true work ethic and a sense of endless hope to achieve goals. I never felt, and I still don't feel, that no is ever truly a no. My tenacious nature wants to find the solution. As I got older, I continued to watch my parents develop in business. They eventually opened a body shop in 2000. When it came for me to graduate in high school, my parents said, you got two choices. You can come work for the body shop or you can start a business. Without hesitation, I decided to start a business. My business was born in a garage, and it has expanded to a 6,000 square foot warehouse. I'm really excited to take you guys along for the journey. When Creative Mornings told me that the topic for this speech was cycles, I truly felt connected. This life we are in is a cycle, and where we're at is just a moment. You're broke right now. You can't seem to find the right staff. You don't know how you're going to make rent. You're not sure about who you are. This too shall pass. You feel confident. You feel like everything you touch turns to gold. You're making so much money. You love your staff. This too shall pass. Yeah. I've got 20 minutes of your time, and with that, I wanted to share 3 major cycles in my business that I went through that helped shape the way I operate. These cycles occurred in business growth, failure, staff, and sense of self-worth and grit. In 2007, SF Apparel, meaning Everyone Stands, Everyone Falls Apparel, was formed by myself and a group of small friends. I would hire my friends to create designs, then organize focus groups to vote on the top designs, then take those designs to get printed. I would then take the finished garments and sell them at local events I hosted. I would rent out a local venue, then find bands that were popular in the area to host a concert. At the door entry, I would charge $10 as the cover and give away a free shirt. This is kind of how I created my first sales. These early shows were far from glamorous, but I loved it. I loved the pressure of organizing bands, promoting the events, designing and purchasing the shirts, hiring staff, and seeing the success of the event at the end of the night. My parents and I set up countless number of these booths. Some were winners and some were losers, but we enjoyed it all the same. A true benefit in my corner is that I've always had a supportive family. Even when I failed, I was show the positive by turning the experience into a learning lesson. In 2010, I became really frustrated with trying to find a reliable screen printing company. I had a hard time finding consistent quality and deadline completion. This led to the purchase of my first manual screen printing press. It was $11,000. And at that time, that was bigger than buying a house. I took all the money I've made from those events and I purchased that press. From there, I set up shop in my parents' garage. I got to messing up shirts in no time. Making shirts was a really large learning curve that took a lot of time and a lot of shirts. Thank you to YouTube and many sleepless nights, I finally got the hang of it. I learned from this that I truly liked printmaking rather than owning my own clothing company. It was then, the next week, I started hitting the pavement to get clients. My first job, aside from my parents' company, was a company called iStairs located in Rancho Cordova. I met the owner through mutual friends. My favorite thing about this is they're still a client today. The owner, Brian, trusted me with a $3,000 order, which frankly is still like a really big order for me today. I remember that feeling like, all right, this is it. I've got a business here. So by 2012, I gained a few clients and I would do about 2 jobs a week. And I really felt like business was booming. So it was time to grow. I moved from my parents' garage onto a mezzanine above their business. By the way, that was all steel top and it was so hot. It was like 200 degrees. Anyways, I looked across Craigslist and I purchased a very old automatic press and dryer for $2,000. It was old and barely moved. It literally had clamps on it holding it from falling apart. It broke down shortly after purchasing, shocking. During this time, I attended UC Berkeley and started to get busy with making shirts for university clubs and organizations. I then hired my first employee to help me accomplish orders when I was in class and unable to print them myself. In 2013, I graduated from UC Berkeley and felt that it was time to fully commit to screen printing as my career. I knew this was it. So I found my first space of my own. I signed a lease for 3,000 square feet for only $1,500 a month. How I negotiated that, I'm still impressed. The days of 2013 were long and hard, but exciting. The thrill of every single shirt being printed felt so rewarding. I printed each shirt like my livelihood depended on it. I demanded complete perfection of myself. I firmly believe that there are so many other apparel shops out there that I had to stand out. In order to stand out, I had to be the fastest, the highest quality, and the best customer service. I'd kill myself in the beginning to make sure each shirt was completely perfect. In time, I kept adding customers to our client list. Our volume of 2014 became large enough that I supported 5 employees, and by 2015, I had made enough to purchase my first automatic screen printing press. This purchase was the game changer. We went from being able to make 50 shirts in 3 to 4 hours to 50 shirts in 30 minutes. It took efficiency and quality to a higher level. In 2015, the print company was growing steadily and provided a steady income for me. However, I was not prepared for what was about to come. This photo right here had changed my life for the next 2 years. I made these shirts for a bachelorette party and said, hey, these are kind of funny. I'm gonna post this on Etsy. Well, the next morning, I woke up, 15 orders. Well, they kept coming. This eventually led to 23,198 sales compiled of multiple shirts over the course of 1 year. I operated this and my print business simultaneously. This time period was really stressful. I would receive and answer emails, orders, and reviews around the clock. At 25 years old, I had one of the #1 selling stores on Etsy. I believe I made around $1.5 million that year alone. This was somewhat of an overnight success, and with that, I felt like I couldn't fail. But guess what? I did, and I was real good at it. Without any explanation, the Etsy sales hit a wall. It was almost as if the algorithm removed my shop. Regardless of anything I do, I couldn't rectify it. It felt like, well, it's time to pivot. So in 2016, I wanted to open up a retail store on the infamous Telegraph Street in Berkeley. The name of this business would be Oh Shirt Yeah. The concept of this business was to allow customers to design apparel on demand. I developed a software that allowed customers to text images from their phones onto tablets and edit the shirts. At the time, that technology wasn't really common. From my Etsy store, I had nearly profited $300,000, and I'd spent all of it developing the idea of Oh Shirt Yeah. This idea was really cool in theory, but guess what? Completely tanked. Unfortunately, there wasn't really the demand I anticipated on Telegraph for custom apparel. After a few months, I was out of funds and I had to make the hard call to shut down the business. As hard as this moment was, it was the best learning experience. I learned how to fail and pivot, and I'm really proud that I seen that the ship was sinking, and regardless of my emotional attachment to the concept, it was time to move on. I decided to merge SF Apparel and Oh Shirt Yeah into one location at the Vacaville Premium Outlets. We rebranded the screen printing company as Oh Shirt Yeah. Oh Shirt Yeah was the first manufacturing company allowed in the Vacaville Premium Outlets. For a moment, I lost focus of what made me money, and that was making shirts in bulk. I came back to the outlets focused and knowing what I needed to do. I felt that same hunger I did in 2011. It was time to hit the pavement again and again until I got more customers. I am now a better businesswoman because I have failed. Without experience that level of failure, I would not operate the same way I do now. 2017 was comeback season. During this, the outlets had some major accomplishments, received our first 7,000 unit order from Kaiser Permanente, and were able to accomplish and deliver this job. We were awarded that bid 3 years in a row. During COVID, I pivoted and focused on healthcare companies and the need of apparel. Through that, I was fortunate enough to make 10,000 shirts for Cardinal Health nationwide. We shipped to roughly 50 locations across the United States, providing essential workers with company morale apparel. We slowly added larger accounts like Amazon to our client base. The steady growth funded the purchase of the second automatic screen printing press. 2021, it was time to grow again. This led to the purchase of a building. My family purchased a 6,000 square foot building in Vacaville. This is where we currently operate out of. In December 2021, we moved the shop to Cotting Lane. Here we added our third automatic press. We now operate with 3 automatic screen printing presses, 6 Melco embroidery machines, and our capabilities for production are 6,000 screen printed shirts a day with roughly 480 embroidery items. Well, what happens to somebody like me when things are going too good? I get bored. So if you haven't picked up on my personality type in my cycle is I like to make a ton of money and then blow it on trying something new. So this year, I hit an all-time high. Okay, so this year, completely renovating a coffee shop, which led to running a coffee shop and a print business, increasing from 10 to 20 employees. I purchased a home, fully gutted that and remodeled it. Finally just sold my house after being on the market for 5 months. We're moving December 23rd, so 10 days from now. Signed myself for a 25-minute speech when I've never spoken publicly before. Oh, and along with all this, I do have a 2-year-old daughter, a husband, and a family. I've never been this overextended financially and mentally in my life, but I've officially spent every dollar I got to my name and then some. So thank God I got years of failure back in me. I can get through this. However, in this moment, I'm happy. And even with this immense stress leads to growth. Because to my core, I love this. The stress, the hustle, the change, all of it. Who am I here to be standing to be standing here if I don't push myself to grow as I'm hoping that you will? Because again, this too shall pass. Now that you have a full understanding of my background, let's talk people. The people you choose to create the framework of your company greatly contribute to the success or failure of your company. This also applies to you personally. I've been through the cycle of poor company culture and employees to now the most amazing staff I've ever had in my life. It takes time to build a team that meets the needs of your company culture, and yourself. When I was started, I was 17. Now I'm 35. I've been through the evolution of what it's like of having all your staff older than you, the same age, and now younger than me, and all the different challenges that brings. Starting out from ages 18 to 23, I viewed my staff as my best friends, truly intertwined, no boundaries, hanging out all the time outside of work, night functions, and doing things on the weekends. There was this really extreme lack of boundaries. So when work issues rose, it was kind of like too awkward to address. During the time, though, there was also a lack in respect of the workload I carried and the consistent momentum I provided. It will always be challenging for someone to understand the full scope of what it costs to operate your business. My best advice is stop expecting them to. It is your job to understand and worry about the financial health of your business, not your staff. With this, when times are hard, it's also not the worry of your staff. It's yours. All they need to know is that their paycheck cashes every week, not the effort it took to make that happen. Regardless of how well you run your company, there will always be situations that happen. Here's one of my favorites. September 12th, 2017, I had 8 employees. 7 of them walked out on me that day. It was a well-orchestrated event that shook me to my core. I'm talking people were walking out while the press was still moving. Now remember, I viewed these people as my closest friends. So when this moment came completely random, there was no fight, no tension, no pivotal moment that caused this ripple effect. The remaining employee was my right-hand man. He'd worked for me for 5 years. That day, I didn't have time to get upset. I got on the press, I finished the jobs, I made sure our deadlines were met. The next morning, my manager and I sat and created a strategy and felt like as long as we got each other, we're good. This was right in the time where O'Shirt's store in Berkeley was failing and we were moving into the outlets, kind of a transitional period. A month had passed since the walkout, and I asked my manager, I said, hey, would you like something from Starbucks? Iced vanilla latte. Got it, I'll be back in 10 minutes. I arrived back to the shop with his coffee to find an email with a joint lawsuit from him and all the employees that had walked out. He was the orchestrator the whole time. So this betrayal has forever changed me. They had been stealing supplies for about 5 months from my business to create a screen printing business of their own. They continued on to open up this print shop. It failed a year later. By the time they left me, I had $80,000 in debt from a mix of all the supplies purchasing surplus along with the Berkeley store failing and then moving into the outlets. I remember my first week in the outlets, I had that debt, 25 cents in my bank account, and a $12,000 payroll. How I get through that? I kept showing up. I put my best foot forward every day, and I dug myself out one job at a time. From this, I learned how important it is to elevate the right people and remove those tearing down your vision. Business shows you the ugliest sides of people, but at the same time, the most amazing people come into your life and dedicate their time to helping you build your dream. It's so important to remain open and accept good energy that comes your way without punishing the new people for the betrayals of the past. From this, it is how it shaped how I hire and how people come into my life. I hire off of energy. I swear I can tell you in 30 seconds if you're gonna work for me or not. I can teach someone who works really hard and is honest anything, but I can't teach somebody how to be a good person. From time, the biggest thing I've taken away from choosing people around me is when someone tells you who they are, believe them. Let's say it again. When somebody tells you who they are, believe them. People will tell you the cards they're holding if you listen. It may come out in a joking manner, serious, or offhanded, but I'm telling you, if you're listening, you'll hear. It's not your job to go against your instincts or your hopes that they'll be better or change. It is your job to hand select the best possible people around you to achieve common goals within the company. The Vacaville Outlets for me symbolizes new and fresh beginnings. Right when I thought I could never trust people again, in that moment when I least expected it, I found a friend group of bright, wonderful, trustworthy kids that have been with me for the past 5 years. The group I have now, we're tight. I call them my kids. We take vacations together, such as Disneyland or camping. I provide a truly unique employment experience that provides complete safety for my staff. My 4 walls is their safe place. With this, there's an understanding that work needs to be done. All of the kids get in trouble sometimes by their parents, but it's a lot easier to have those conversations with mutual love and respect. Being in business as long as I have, I've navigated some truly uncomfortable times. Major players in this are election times and COVID. Through these, I've always remained neutral. I have taken the stance that it is my job to make all of my staff feel that they have job security, that they're heard, they're validated, and they're safe to be themselves. I truly have one of the most diverse shops for the amount of people working for me, and we all coexist with love, understanding, and no fighting. The tone starts from the top. It is your job as a leader to set it. Lastly, going through ups and downs can be hard, so let's talk about what it takes to keep on going. Grit. Running a company takes a magnitude of different skills. From time, I've repeated many phrases to myself to help me get through it. Remember, your ideas are valid. Don't kill your big ideas by telling them to small people. Doers are hard on themselves, the complacent are hard on others. Do not shrink yourself to be more palatable for others. Remain silent, consistent, keep working with a smile. Innovation. When you're the innovator, people will not understand you. Thank God, you don't want them to. You're the momentum, the change, the innovator. The validation has to come from within. Anytime I've had immense anxiety in my life, it's when I went against my true self. You are the only person you gotta be okay with. I just created a coffee shop in the middle of nowhere. People thought I was absolutely nuts, but I saw a demand that wasn't being fulfilled in my company. What was that demand? A safe place for families to bring their kids. Guess what? Now it's a destination location. It wasn't my job to convey to people doing less than it was a good idea. Entrepreneurship takes endurance. You're in it for the long game. Let's talk about the long game. A lot of mental strength. The mental state you are in is a fundamental building block that allows your company to rise or fall. Thinking of your problems all the time just breathes life into them. It's almost as if you're burning a furnace and you just keep adding fuel to give it life. I'm not saying repress your feelings. However, I'm saying mentally flip things. Pay your dreams and your admirations, your goals, your growth, the same amount of mental effort. Feed the fire of your ambition. Constantly thinking about your failures make those grow. So let's make your dreams grow instead. And also if things don't work out, give yourself some grace, a good cry in the corner, and then pivot. To find that next thing. It's so easy to focus on what we're not good at. Trust me, you do not want to hear me sing. It's bad. You gotta focus on your purpose. The root of my purpose is creating community. It's what I truly love. I believe that's why the print shop's been so sustainable for me. I've created a large community within my customers and my staff. There's no age, race, or gender for my clientele. Everybody orders shirts. I love that about my business. One moment, I'm helping a really cute elderly couple organize family shirts for Christmas gifts. Then the next moment, I'm ordering 3,000 units for Amazon. It's all ever changing. The coffee shop was a true passion project that for me has been so fulfilling. I've created a safe place for my community to gather. When you run a company, you are the ongoing energy that people orbit around. The energy you bring as an owner is vital. You have to be magnetic. Consistently being aware of the energy you give off, because your company culture starts from the top on all levels. Who you are when you are at and away from work all play a role. You're never clocked out. When you own a business, someone's always watching. I lead with love and understanding and a vivacious, upbeat nature. I try to project that every day is great, even when I don't feel my best. Because my goal after leaving a person is for them to feel better, lighter, and stronger. I'm not here to dump on others and suck the little energy they have to give for me for my own personal gain. That is not a sustainable relationship. From experience, no one wants to hear you're heavy. Who wants to follow a person that's complaining all the time? Let me tell you, nobody. All right, so now you're able to get people to follow you. Now what? Well, you have to bring that ability to foster community and act upon innovative visions. You need to create upward movement, future, and achievable goals for people to get on board. If I have an idea and I like it, by the next day, I've already started making that happen. And I've roped in all my employees into it by assigning roles. Safe to say, they're never bored. Ideas without action are just ideas. I'm the momentum, the relentless force that keeps the train moving forward. A simple phrase to summarize this is, the harder you work, the luckier you get. I hope you take away today at least one thing from me that helps you jump, pivot, or spark a new interest. To leave you with this, I love this quote from Theodore Roosevelt. It is not the critic who counts, not the man who points out how the strong man stumbles, or where the doer of deeds could have done them better. The credit belongs to the man who is actually in the arena, whose face is marred by dust, sweat, and blood, who comes out short again and again, because there is no effort without error or shortcomings, who at the best knows in the end of triumph and high achievement, and who at the worst, if he fails, at least fails daring greatly. If you're gonna be brave and you're gonna jump, there's gonna be failures along the way, but I promise it's worth it. Thank you for your time, hearing my story, and I'm excited to hear yours.
Okay. All right, I'm done. Yay! I could hear him crying, and I'm
Still up.
oh, I'm still up. I'm not done. Oh, sorry.
Well, Q&A if anyone has questions.
Yeah. All right, bye. I did it. Okay.
Any question? We have a few minutes for questions if anybody has any.
Any questions? Yes.
Thanks for that, Jessica. You talked about safety for your employees and then also mentioned safety for the coffee shop.
Yes.
Can you say more on that?
So, like with my employees and safety, I always feel like it's kind of compiled of a few things of they show up every day knowing their job's secure. They're not like worrying about if I'm going to come in and yell at them or fire or things. We have a lot of conversations before anything like that leads up. And that they're allowed to be themselves. So I don't ever want my employees to repress who they are, who they're dating, what they believe in. It's all everything's welcome. So I just try to keep a really open dialogue like that. And we do talk a lot. So I have probably about an hour check-in with each employee every week. So I know where they're at, I know who they're dating, I know what they're upset about, all those kind of things. So I'm their safe place.
I have a question about Audacity.
Yeah.
What you did in Berkeley on the street, the store, the on demand stuff. It clearly shows that you're extremely innovative and you have audacity for big new ideas, bold ideas. You are in an industrial space where you've had to do things that are more traditional, like bulk printing.
Yeah.
What happens to your mindset after going through that journey, and how do you keep channeling audacity in this industry? How do you think about innovation and audacity right now?
Yeah, no, it's such a good question because sometimes, so like my gift, blessing and curse is like I jump without thinking about it quite a bit, as you can tell. So like the Berkeley thing kicked my butt for a minute and it kind of like hindered my ability to be creative. And I feel like I just now kind of got back there. I'm trying to think. So the coffee shop was kind of my big jump. But now I'm already bored because it's paid, like I'm done with that. So now I'm like, okay, like now I'm like looking because I have space in my print shop. I'm like, all right, maybe like a restaurant would be kind of cool here. I don't know. So I don't know. I think it's kind of just who I am. So I don't even think about it. I know that sounds really, I don't know if that's good or not. Anything else? Yeah. Okay. Hi.
So the coffee shop is in your building?
It is. So the building used to be like a Masonic lodge. And so it was like an old soup kitchen. So I had this really weird 500 square foot, it's very small, kitchen that was just located in the building for about 3 years. So I kept looking at, or 2 years, and I just kept looking at it. It was like bothering me. I was like, this needs to be something. And I really just felt, because there's a lot of industrial companies around my shop. And like we have an Amazon warehouse around there, Genentech, all that kind of stuff. So I was like, there's a demand here. I think it'll be good. So that's how that kind of snowballed. Yeah, sure. I'm in it.
I just wanted you to know that I have heard of those hostile situations with small businesses, and one of them happened at a peanut butter and jelly shop in Portland.
Oh.
So you're not alone.
Thank you.
I was wondering, what was your takeaway from that? Because I was expecting you to say hard boundaries between employees, and what did you
No, absolutely nothing. No, I'm just kidding. So what I learned is there's always like signs along the way. So like when somebody's like harming you, they show you. And I just always kept turning a blind eye to it. One meeting that was like super pivotal was my mom does my books. That's because you guys don't want to see me in a spreadsheet. It's bad. So my mom goes, hey, Jordan, your supplies for this month is $40,000 and you've only done $20,000 in sales. All right, so we pulled in the manager and we're like, hey, what is going on here? Like, he like blew up. He's like, are you saying I'm stealing? Hiring. So he's like, are you saying I'm stealing? He like stormed out. And I'm like, in that moment, I was like, man, we really upset him. We should say sorry. And then, but like now being more like developed through this, I'm like, oh, that's the sign somebody's stealing from you. Like they're getting upset. I got it. So it's just more, again, like you just really, when you see something and your gut's telling you it's off, it's off. Like don't question it. Just get it out. Hi.
What did you do with all the t-shirts that you wrote?
Oh my goodness. So we make them testers. So this is like kind of funny. So we like when we mess up a shirt, which doesn't happen often. So when we mess up a shirt, we use them as like testers, like for test prints before we run a large job. But when we were in the outlets, we like you would throw the trash out in the back. So we'd like after the shirts would be all printed, right, with like logos everywhere, we'd throw them out. We would see homeless people walking around town with like all of these logos, just like going. So at the end of it, they're basically just rags. I use up every square inch of them for a tester until I can. But yeah, I use if it's like blanks, like say if they're like blanks and they're still like decent, we donate them. But most of the time, we try to use them as much as we can. Oh, my sister. This is my sister-in-law.
One, you're a total badass.
Oh, thank you.
I'm gonna help you with your plug. Are you hiring?
Oh, I am hiring right now, so thank you. So this week, my main manager of 5 years, who's also one of my dearest friends, just put in his 2 weeks. So I am hiring a main manager. So if anybody knows, or if you know somebody, I'm pretty great to work for. So. Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Oh, thank you. Thank you. All right, thank you. That was good, guys. I'm gonna go hide over here. I could hear you crying.
And I'm going to do one more final plug for you, Jordan, is that at her coffee shop, Rachel did the mural.
Yes.
And it's beautiful. So
yes.
go check it out for many reasons. But thank you all so much for coming. We have some time just to mingle. We got to be out by 10. So if you could just fold your chair, we'll pull out the rack. If you could just fold your chair up. And then thank you so much. Happy holidays. Happy New Year's. And we'll see you in January.
Was it good?
Thanks, y'all.
Okay. Good. Thank you. Oh, I'm so proud of you.